people in the fishing industry that rep themselves the way that these two people do. The serious tournament angler is usually somebody that leads with ego, pride. Quite honestly, they're usually quite conceited.
Welcome!
Then there's GB and O, two West Coast anglers making fishing fun while educating and sharing their experiences with the world through the internet. Greg Blanchard, better known as GB, grew up in New York fishing with his granddad, then later moved to Northern California where he built his YouTube channel showcasing competitive kayak fishing. Obedy Williams.
Mr. Obedy Williams here, and I'd like to welcome you to the California Delta and Discovery Bay, baby. Live where you play. Yeet the D! It's party time, baby!
Owner, founder, and CEO of Rippin' Lips brings the grandest form of positive energy.
Can he turn him?
Yeah, baby!
Hey, I was fighting with you. I was fighting with you.
Known for his prowess with the flipping stick and his ability to fish from a kayak or a bass boat.
Yeah, you nigga!
Okay.
Yeah, I told you! Yeah, I blacked out! I thought I was going to bring out the smelling salt. Yeah! Oh my God. When we speak about gorks,
Greg Blanchard, Obedy Williams. Both of them are here to show us the way to fish in the fall on Tidal Fisheries. All right, I know everybody. Y'all got to know who
that was player.
and O is. Hey, go ahead and hit him with it. Oh, hit him with it. Welcome.
Welcome.
Oh man. Listen. All right, so I'm not making no promises. This is the idea, y'all. So, Greg, we have a group where we just teach people how to fish. This is my little community where we talk. I say my community. This is our community. This is the people's community where we learn.
I like that.
All right.
Yes.
Now, the people in the community. The idea behind this live class tonight is to talk about fall fishing on tidal fisheries. You may get that, and you might get a little bit more. I'm just telling you, it could go all kind of different ways. I can't promise you that we're gonna stay on the track, but we're gonna do the best we can. We're gonna do the best we can. So that was my little introduction for y'all. Of course, many of you guys know Greg from fishing kayaks competitively and fishing tournaments there on the West Coast. Greg, I appreciate you being here. I haven't got to officially meet Greg in person yet. So I was really thankful for him to be able to come in and agree to do it. Because people got their own, especially you're a content creator, you got to create your own content. You can't be creating content with other people. I know how it is, so I really appreciate you taking your time to do it.
Thank you. You have me on. I appreciate it. It's fun.
Yes, man, absolutely. It is my pleasure, man. I feel honored that you would take time to do it. And then, oh my God, on the people's champ. Hey.
You already know, man.
Oh,
man,
man.
You already know, man. We go all the way back, baby. You know what I'm saying? I love telling the story to people. I said Mark is our middle guy, how we met. You know, and when Mark would move to start going professional, he would call me, and me and Mark talk all the time. And you and Mark talked all the time. So when me and Mark, he like, yeah, my boy be lat. Then he get with you, he's like, yeah, my boy O. So when you won that tournament, I gave you a call. First, they started laughing because it was like we feel like we knew each other forever.
Like I already knew it. Yes, we've been talking for probably a couple of years before. I hadn't talked to you for a couple of years, and then we finally talked. Like, I already knew everything. Hey, I already knew about what we call the brown boat. What we call it? Cinnamon, brown sugar. Brown sugar.
Yeah, root beer.
I already knew about it. Root beer. No, root beer. What I call it, brown sugar.
Yeah, brown sugar. Hey, I love it. Hey, it was so cool when we talked. I was like, I know everything about you. The only thing is when you coming to see me. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Listen, Hey, what was it? He invited me about something. I was like, what he didn't know is I was already expecting that I had an open invite. I was like, he was
You
like, man,
said
anytime
that
you want to
too.
go, I was like, I already know. I'm like, what
Yeah, I'm coming to see you first. I said,
yeah,
heck
yeah,
yeah, you got to. You
yeah,
got
man.
to. And when we
Yeah,
hooked up, it was just like we was like two brothers out there fishing, like we family. You know what I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying? And man, I said that was a good time. Everybody still talk to me like, man, it was so cool when you brought B Lad out here. I said, man, that's my guy, that's my family right there. We always talk. Like, you know what I'm saying? We gotta tap in with each other. It's just like how
Yeah,
I said, like with GB, like this fishing community, man. It's so much love in it. I mean, you know, the
yeah,
people like to hate when you got to say, but it's way more love in this sport. You know
yeah,
what I'm
bro.
saying?
It's
If you just
the hate is
engulf
just real
yourself into it.
loud.
Yeah, exactly. I
The
said,
hate is
but
just loud.
man, I said when me and you hooked up, I said, man, it was just magical. And I said, people still talk about it. And I told them, I said, yeah, we got a lot more to come, man. There's a lot more in store.
Yeah, absolutely. It
Oh,
sounds like a lot of fun, man. It's the same way
yeah.
when you talk about me, you and Mark. So you the middleman between me and Greg because I already feel like I know Greg through you.
Yeah.
Like we'll talk so much.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I ain't even, I've never talked to Greg before. I've never talked to him ever. And like, how do I know all this stuff?
Yes,
Today, tonight is the first time I ever talked to Greg Fletcher. And I be
yes.
telling people in the app about Greg. How does that work? I'm like, how is y'all
And
like
I
that?
talked to
Greg?
Greg to you. Yeah, right. I'm the
Yeah,
middleman for both of you guys. Yeah.
middleman.
And you all
Middleman.
showed up in
Middleman.
bathrobes, which is being discussed
Yeah.
in the comments.
So, all right. So
Hey,
we'll give
hey.
them this story about the robes, and then we'll actually talk fishing. Okay. All right. So we're not gonna waste y'all time. We gotta tell them about the robes, and then we'll go into actually talking about fishing if we have to.
Okay, listen, check this out. I make my merch. You know, I'm one of the first guys to ever do it on YouTube. Probably the first guy to ever put a fishing video up on YouTube, right? So
Mhm.
back then, I'm before YouTube, you had to do it old school, DVDs. So I'm slinging DVDs fishing to everybody. Pop, 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 pop.
Mixtapes.
So
He got mixtapes.
yeah, so there I got mixtapes, right? So then my brother tell me about YouTube. All right, now I'm YouTube guy. Instantly I start doing the merch, ripping lips. Now I'm ripping lips. Boom. Years go by, you know what I'm saying? I come with all kind of lingo and everything. Now it's younders. You know what I'm saying? And, you
Right.
know, younders is once you got a small fish, but a big fish, is a younder. You go small fish, you got younders, you know. So then I did a community of guys who like to catch big fish. We committed the younder gang, right? So now I'm Yonder Gang. So now I'm doing the merch and everything. So then I'm thinking like, what does every fisherman need? A robe.
All right.
Every real fisherman need a robe. You
Let
gotta
me
have
show
a
him the back.
robe. You know what
Let me
I'm saying?
show him
Yeah.
the back.
So there you go, B lad. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
So I had to make sure all my
show him the
guys
back.
had
Hey,
Yonder Gang, ripping lips, robe. Yeah.
Yonder is like a worldwide term too. I won a tournament, big fish right here. The big yonder. I mean,
Look at that.
Frog only
The
tournament.
tournament had been, yeah. B-Lad had the online thing. Younders. Younders is
Yonder Classic.
worldwide. Hey, you can go on Major League Fishing. The announcer's like, that's a younder. You know
He
what
does.
I'm saying? Yeah, it came from your boy. You know what I'm saying? You might hear Jacob Wheeler. That's a younder. So, all
Yeah.
my guys, I had to make sure all my guys had a robe and the right robe. You know, the most softest, prestigious robe that mankind ever made. So, you know what I'm saying? So you got the ripper lips and then you got the yonder gang on the back. Hit your boy up if you want to be. If you catch younders, you need you one of these, man. While you tying up in the night before the tournament, Saturday you just watching fishing. You throw the robe on. The wife is like, "You going fishing again? Put your robe on." All that stuff, man. It applies to so many areas of your life. Once you get this, your life just changed. Trust me,
Yeah.
life just changed. So I had to make sure GB had one. I had to make sure B Lad had one. B Lad, I got B Lad his robe. Instantly, he was dancing, he's swinging it around. Right? You don't understand what it do to you, man. It changes you, man.
Hey, it'll change your life. It might be the change that you need. You might get the
Yeah,
change.
it's a change
If
you
you didn't
need.
get
It's
nothing,
a
if
change
you
you
don't get
need.
nothing from tonight, the road might be the change you need.
it is
Exactly.
comfortable. I'll say
So
it's very comfortable.
as
Yes.
soon as I
Like,
put robe on, B Lad said, "Hold on." He came in with robe. B Lad, and
Yeah.
then GB was like, "Oh, we wearing robes? Hold on." Then robe come on. Fool.
Yeah,
That's right. You know what I'm saying? You walk in,
yeah,
your girl, your wife, they gonna be like this. You need dinner? Big steak 'em and steak and lobster and all that kind. Cause the robe. You know
robe,
what
man.
I'm
Yeah,
saying? Robe life,
yeah.
baby.
We don't
Yeah.
wear hoodies. We wear robes.
We wear robes, man. You can wear this fishing. You can wear this to the tournament. You can wear this to the market, wherever, man. People will salute you like, I understand. I understand. You don't even look out of place. Pumping your gas, all that. Robe, baby.
Oh, oh man,
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. All right, fellas. So maybe we should give the peoples what they actually came for. So the
What
reason
they
I
coming
wanted to
for?
have y'all both on here is obviously, I mean, we've seen the success. And one thing I always tell people when I'm picking on them when I'm fishing, you've seen the fish I catch. We've seen the fish you catch. And so I do have a group of people in the app that fish tidal fisheries. And one thing we've been talking about a lot recently is the context of fall fishing. And I'm assuming, I've never fished out west in the fall, but we lost. Oh, maybe he'll come back. But I've never fished out west in the fall. But I'm assuming that just like how we do, there's like some subtle nuances that you have like going into the winter periods. So I want to talk about that, and more specifically, I made a list to keep me at least somewhat on the rails tonight. I know y'all fished the Delta. I think the Delta is really the only that would be the only tidal fishery there in
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's probably yeah, similar to Potomac. I mean, it's huge. I mean,
There we
anyone
go.
Delta is like oh, there he is. He's back.
He came back. He
Yeah,
came back.
man. I thought I silenced the calls on there. You know, my sister called. What's going on? Hey, get off the phone, man. I'm talking.
Yeah,
I'm talking to talk on here. Talking to
I know.
talk.
Yeah,
All right,
you
continue. I'm
good.
sorry.
You
Where
good.
was we at?
So
No,
I was just
Delta.
telling the guy. I was telling Greg like one of the reasons that I wanted to have you guys on. We do have a group of people that fish tidal fisheries, and I'm assuming I never fished. Well, actually, when we did fish, it was early fall. But I wanted to talk about what are the subtle nuances to fishing the Delta. More importantly, just tidal fisheries during the fall is kind of the context of the conversation. And I think the first thing I wanted to just kind of cover is just what differences do you notice in the fall? Because there's some places where there ain't much difference in the fall, and then there's other places where things change drastically. But just a broad general picture. I know Greg just said like the Potomac is probably a lot like the fall, like the Cal Delta. I would say it is somewhat, but one thing that I noticed is a lot more man-made structure on the Delta than it is on the Potomac. But still, the same principles are going to apply. But I just love to know just a broad generalization from both of y'all of what you notice changing when you start moving into the fall periods.
Oh, you want me to go first? Or you want to take her?
Yeah, go ahead, GB. Take it.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess it's funny. Like, I swear to you, every year the fall seems to get closer and closer to like the summertime. Like I seen fall fishing videos in July this past year. It's like crazy. So, I mean, I guess it depends on what you define as the fall. Right now is like what I'd consider the fall. Like it's November. It's cold. The days are shorter. I mean, you're not wearing shorts out. Maybe you are, but it's chilly and you can tell it's the fall. I think some people get hooked up on like that fall transition where it's really kind of like summer. Nah, this is the fall right now, in my opinion. And it really is like representative of a different time period and how the Delta and pretty much I'd say all tidal fisheries are going to shape up. A lot of time these fish will group up. The water out here, depending on how much rain we'll get, uh, it's really clear. It's which you think is a good thing, and it can be because you can see all the fish, but it can make them tricky to catch too. And with that said, I've noticed just this time of year, especially right now, these fish are super grouped up, but there's a lot of small ones in the system. And the tricky thing I'd say in general with fall fishing is weeding out those small ones. Now, if you get into later fall, I mean, even closer to winter, you're just begging for a bite. But right now, is from my experience, you're going to catch a lot of small ones. I mean, you got to slow down. They're still chasing a little bit. They're still focused really on bait. But in general, that's kind of the picture I think of as far as fall tidal fisheries. We can certainly go deeper into this, but that's just kind of my general layout right now as far as the Delta goes.
like when you say like right now is truly fall, like is that because it's cooler? What's cooler there? Because cooler can mean a bunch of things depending on where
Yeah.
you are in the
So
world. What's cooler for y'all?
so right now Delta's probably around 60 degrees. It's
Water
dropped
temperature or air?
water temp. Water
Okay.
temp's about 60. So she's cooling down pretty good. I mean, summertime she'll be in the 80s, and even in September, October it'll still be like 70s, or October it'll be 70s. But right now I'd say that's kind of my defining water temperature for fall as well, or at least the fall months or a fall pattern is when we get into those low 60s. I mean, that's chilly. So
Yeah.
yeah, 60-degree water temp. But this time of year, I'd say November is like the meat of the fall, and really when like a lot of the principles, or at least the things I'll suggest when fall fishing, like true fall fishing, it's like right now, like mid-November, early November. I mean, we get closer to December, depending on where you are in the country and what tidal fishery. It's pretty tough, in my opinion. Like the Delta probably has another month before it's just super tough, and that might be something interesting to talk about, like tidal fisheries in general, like a winter bite there. I mean, I fished the Delta not nearly as long as O has, but like 8 years, and man, I still struggle out there in December, January, and I mean, it's a river. It's a tough fishery. Rivers are tough in the winter, so right now is kind of like the meat of the fall, in my opinion.
Gotcha. What about like the air temperatures? What's a typical day? What's y'all's temperatures been like recently? There, do you get big cold fronts? Does it just stay pretty monotone? Like it doesn't rain a lot out west, right?
It doesn't. We have our years where we get a ton of rain, but it usually doesn't start till like December, January, February. We've had a little bit of rain this actually the past couple of weeks. Um, but it's not bad. It's pretty much, I'd say, air temps were starting around the mid 50s. I mean, you might get a couple of mornings where it's like low 50s, but I'd say mid 50s. And in the afternoon when that sun gets high, we're hitting low 70s again, depending. I mean, like you said, it's pretty consistent for the most part. And then yeah, once we hit December, January, depending on the year, that's when things can get crazy, and it's when I don't like to go fish the Delta, to be honest.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. What about you? Oh, what would you say you noticed the most about just the difference in fall fishing coming from summer or going into winter? Like, what's the biggest thing that you see
It
change
it
during this
it, it
period?
definitely it definitely like what GB said, it definitely gets tougher. A lot of guys actually get off the delta and go hit the lakes, go hit some spotted bass and smallmouth bass during this time of the year because it definitely gets tougher. Now, but what the crazy thing is, if you're willing to withstand being out there in the rain or the colder days, you can still catch some bigger fish. You still catch some big fish, but it's tough and you're only going to get a few bites, but you can get the right bites. They just had a tournament over the weekend. My boy Jamon Andrews and Harvey Pulliam, they ended up winning the TOC, and they had 23 pounds both days.
Right?
You
Yeah.
can punch them.
And so all punching. That's what when I was there. What do you do besides punching and maybe throwing a chatterbait and a square bill? What else is there to do?
I mean, you could throw. Only thing I would add in what you just said would be a double buzz bait and a frog.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, if you want to win the tournament, of course you can throw a drop shot. There's spots you can throw a jig. You can do everything you want. But if you're tournament fishing, yeah, you're gonna have to punch, throw some type of top water and a chatterbait. That's what's gonna get it done out here. I went out was it yesterday, and I punched five five younder, and I punched a 3.5 younder, almost 4 younder. But that was the only punch bites I got out of a 5 hour window. Then I picked up a jerk bait, and then I caught ones and twos.
right.
And you're like, and, saying you could pick up a jerk bait, a rattle trap,
Yeah.
and a drop shot and stuff. You can still go catch you some fish. Like GB said, you're going to catch a lot of little fish right now that's in the system. Um, I feel like if you want to catch a big one on the Tidal River on the Delta, you're going to have to punch them. But expect to get 0 to 5 bites in an 8 hour period. But
So
those 5 bites can be 2+ pounds.
what
Mhm.
makes it tough? I would so in my just and this is just me speaking from personal experience, not the gospel truth. Like usually when our water temperature gets in the 60s and it gets in the 50s, it actually gets really good. And the 40s is really good. Like, and it sounds like for y'all, the colder it gets, the tougher, the harder it is to catch them. Do you
I
think there's a
believe those
reason for
Florida, yeah, I believe those Florida strain bass, they tighten up.
it?
They
Yeah,
they do not want to bite. In the spots that you know in the spring, the summer, that you know you can go punch in an area where you might get 15, 20, 25 bites. Get 2 bites there. And it's still
Yeah.
set up exactly the same way.
Yeah.
And you have to have that mindset of knowing that we're in the fall, it's colder. These fish aren't trying to move like that. Now, here's something else. The stripers, they start coming in during the fall. They're chasing all the shad. They're all over the place. Them largemouth will cruise with them. So
uh huh,
you can
yep,
catch some nice stripers. I mean, some nice largies fishing for stripers. So I pick up on that as well, knowing that it's a lot of bait. Them largies are with the stripers, and I can still catch some solid largemouth. But the
yeah,
bite is if you're a guy that loves to catch fish, this is the time of the year that they're off the water. Diehards
okay,
are only the guys that's out there right now that is looking for a couple of handful of bites, and they know those bites can be 10 pounds to 30 pounds, but you might only get 5, 6 bites, 8, 10 hour days. And that's that's where we are right now in the Delta, which like I said from the beginning is where a lot of guys will pick up and go to the lakes where they can go catch 50, 60 bass right now, where it's this the time of the year when the lakes are on fire for those regular size fish and also a trophy fish if you're throwing like, big swim baits and all that stuff.
right. So
I,
you mentioned both of y'all have mentioned the fish are chasing shad this time of year. I'm not familiar with what is the shad base there? Is it threadfin? What are they eating?
Yeah, threadfin.
Threadfin? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Because that.
and
So you mentioned the striper too. That's something that people don't talk about enough where I live. I try to mention it, and it's hard to get unless you've seen it. It's hard to get people to understand it. Striper can really influence our lakes heavily because what happens is if you get like our striper, they're getting huge schools because saltwater fish, so they travel in schools.
Mm.
Striper can run the bait. It doesn't happen as often as it used to, but they can run bait into a creek, and for the whole fall, winter, and spring, that creek or that end of the lake or that side of the lake will be the side of the lake. That makes sense. Like
Yeah.
it's almost like they
Yes.
corral all the bait into one creek, and then, like you said, the bass and everything else follows them. So for the next several weeks, months, maybe even 4, 5, 6 months,
Yes.
that creek will be
Yes.
the creek. But
Okay.
nobody really talks
So
about how
no, they don't
how they
talk
treat
about that.
it.
That's a lot of guys I feel like that know that keep that under their hat. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Cause like where I stay in Discovery Bay, all right, I stay in the back of a cove right now. There's 1,000 birds back here eating the shad that's being pushed up by striper. Salmon is cruising through here, and largemouth bass. They're all here, and they know that they got them cornered. They got them
yeah,
backed up against the corner. The birds can come down and hit, and the birds are the first indicator to let you know. You see 30 birds lined up there, is
yeah.
is, is money, right? So you're catching stripers, but then a lot of guys would think I'm striper fishing, I'm striper fishing. But if you key on it, there's some big largemouth cruising with them.
Oh,
And if you pull out your bass gear and try to target bass during that, you'll be pleasantly surprised.
I was
yeah,
gonna say the two other baits that like I typically love in the fall, this time of year especially, is an A rig and a spinner bait. And just like you kind of said, the bait's being chased right now. Now, like what one thing I did want to mention, I don't know if we can all agree on it, but it kind of goes back to the point B Lat was saying, the fishing tends to get better when that water temp drops. And I agree, like that's why a lot of the guys go to the lakes. But for whatever reason, the Delta, it it's kind of like a mixed bag. Like we were talking about, you can go catch like some giants, but it's only going to be like 3 to 5 bites a day. or you can go catch a million rats. But like the A rig, the spinnerbait, those tend to do better than like the jerk baits and the underspins, because I do feel like once that temp hits like 55, it gets like super tough out here. So like that magical water, it's like 55, or I'd say 56, 57 to 62 specifically. And maybe it's not just the Delta, but for me, like that's like, it's over after 55. Goes below 55. I mean, best of luck to you out there. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
got to
And I
have
think also
something
on the
to do.
Delta, I was
Well,
gonna say real fast on the Delta, the Florida strain bass, it would shut them down once that, like what GB said, that temperature. So if if you really want to get in deep into it, we also have northern strain.
uh,
Northern strain bass, well, you can catch them better during that time. They're accustomed to that colder weather, but you have to get further out to where the salt water meets the fresh water.
okay,
And
gotcha.
they're over there. Back in the days, the only way you was going to win a tournament where you would have to travel to catch the northern bass because they were solid 3-4 younders. You can come in with 15 to 20 pounds and win a tournament, because during that time you can tell from the tournaments where, like I said, 23 pounds. Oh, 23 pounds win. We get in the next month. It's some tournaments 12 pounds will win it. But a
Yeah,
guy who can really find those northern strain, he can have 16 pounds and kind of edge everybody out. Where you might caught the Florida strain, you might caught one or two, 3 to 5, but then the rest of them are 1 to 2s.
yeah.
You know,
I see.
and I think everybody judged it by the tournaments, as the
Right.
tournament, because the tournaments are pretty much all year long. You'll start seeing that, wow, they only took 15 pounds to win that tournament. Like, yeah, it's that part. But like how GB say, but you caught 100 fish. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Me and GB did the
Yeah.
OG show. We went out the other day. We caught, what was it, 84 fish or something like that? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
What?
And yeah, we caught 84, but they all were small. They're all ratatouilles. And in between, we caught a couple of solids. But you got to go through so many ratatouilles to get to those solids. But that's when you start knowing that it's changing, and that's what happens like every year. But
We're losing you, oh.
Oh,
You
back.
fading. The metaverse got him.
the houseboat
Yeah.
service.
Am I back?
Are you
Yeah.
back now? I can hear you
Uh-oh.
now. It's a little
Yeah.
choppy.
So okay, there's this little internet. Okay, but the Delta, that it's like the tournaments are definitely the gauges of, we're
Yeah.
catching a lot of small fish, and then it's crazy because it's like, oh, somebody. Sometimes the tournaments in the year, you like one big fish, a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 younder, and then some rats will do it for you.
Right.
Then there's some
It,
tournaments that you're gonna need 30 pounds to win it.
it's piqued my curiosity because I think it's got to be deeper when it gets tough like that. It's got to be more to it than the Florida strain. The reason I say that, y'all know, like Gunnersville is all, I wouldn't say all, but it's Florida strain, Chickamauga, Florida strain. And when the water gets like, those are mountain lakes, water easily gets in the 40s, January, February. Them some they bite. They bite. And so
That's
I
crazy.
wonder, but there's, so it's always context though, dude. So when you're on a tidal fishery, those fish are used to biting on those small windows of opportunity when the tide does what it's supposed to do for whatever they want to do to bite. So that makes it harder. Secondly, I'm curious about what the food source does for y'all when it gets below 55, because there's got to be more changing than, oh, they're just not biting. Something is happening in that ecosystem that's pulling those fish away from when you're able to catch them the way you're normally catching them. Is where my mind is like shifting to. Like I just always
Yeah.
want to go, well, and that's just me. I'm always like, well, why? Like, well, why? And then you
Yeah.
say, well,
I
why?
see a lot more of those. I see a lot more of those crawfish start to come out during the colder months.
It's got
And
to be
I
something.
like to, yeah, I like to switch the color up, like especially punching. You know, You might could be throwing green pumpkin or bluegill because now the sun's up, bluegill's all moving. The bass are eating those high protein. But then there's a time where you got to put that bluegill, that green pumpkin down, and pick up something red or orange to mimic that crawfish.
Right.
Me and GB just did an OG show, and I was throwing bluegill, not one, but not that many bites. But when I switched to when I had the crawdad color on, the red and orange, I got triple the bites.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of the stuff that you gotta kind of pick up while you're out there. Like, and then, one bait I didn't have, which I'm about to have, because I got my own bait out now, the yonder tip. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Let me throw that out there, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I got these yonder tail, but a shad color. You know what I'm saying? Because they're mixed all up in the grass as well.
Right.
And what was crazy was I was watching shad pop up out of a mat patch, and then they're sitting on the top like this. And it's like, okay, you got the shad time, you got the crawfish time, you got the bluegill time. Which one of these are they eating right now?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of the puzzle of, if you can figure that out, then you can kind of work. You can build on that. Oh, they're munching on these crawdads right now. Everything I throw needs to be crawdad pattern. Or, hey man, they're chasing shad because same time as I'm throwing that crawdad, I'm catching these fish, but behind me, they're busting up on shad. Pow, pow, pow behind me. And now my brain is like, gosh, do I need to be out there throwing something shad, or do they want the crawfish?
Yeah. Right.
It's that whole thing of, like they say, match the hatch plus what are they eating right now?
You know what's funny is when we did the video we did where we caught the 84 fish or whatever it was. If it's kind of an interesting sample size because I mean of all the better fish of all 84 fish, what were they on? They're punching. It's crawfish,
Punching,
right?
yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
small schooled up were on the smaller baits, the drop shots, the jerk baits, the underspins, but the better ones were clued in on that crawfish pattern. And going back to B Lat's kind of point with, like why does it get like harder, so to speak, in the fall? And I'd kind of like say for us when it gets harder, like that 55-degree water temp, that's kind of more like late fall, early winter time. But I think personally out on the Delta and possibly most tidal fisheries, these fish are just like super tight to cover, whether that's grass, whether that's wood, whether that's whatever piece of cover. And it's just harder to put a bait in front of a fish that's buried down in 3 feet of grass. I mean, that's why I think sometimes in the wintertime, I know we're not talking about winter fishing, but sometimes the only bites I can get in the winter on the Delta are ripping a spinner bait or lipless or an A-rig through that grass. And it's just because, after so many casts, you're going to run into a fish. But I think it's because those fish or that fish that you caught or got to bite is so tight to the cover, you finally just came across one. And I think that's the transition that we're seeing, or what we were seeing the other day. Some of those bigger fish that we were catching on the punch, they were starting to bury down. And that's kind of like my personal opinion, at least one of my theories why it seems to get harder, later on and in the winter, is because these fish are so tight to cover. It's just like, it's hard to get to them,
Yeah. That I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was one of the things that I wanted to ask y'all is, does it get cold enough there on the Delta to where the vegetation starts to change? So here, like our grass, hydrilla, coontail, it'll start to die off a little bit. And sometimes that might be the grass that you target, or that might be the grass that you try to avoid, just depending on what's going on for the season. Do you get any of that where the vegetation die? Like, how's the cold weather affecting?
It can die off, but it could be different reasons where it could die off because of the cold, or it can die off because of the heavy spraying that they do. But you're still going to have tremendous a lot of grass, hyacinth, stuff like that to punch. And like what GB said, I definitely agree. When it gets to that cold level, you got to drop it right in front of them. Where to me, I feel like it's more of a reaction bite than them wanting to eat, because they have no choice, because that bait came down so fast right in front of them. They had two options: move or bite it.
React, bite on it.
I
Yeah.
think exactly, and I think that's where a lot of, because they're not like chasing after it or moving after the
Right.
tricky part is because I think the ones that's buried in the grass like that, they're like, I'm not trying to do that. But then the ones that's like moving with the stripers and getting the shad, then they're like, hey, yeah, if you throw a little swim bait or something by me, I'm about to kind of chase and hit that. You know, that's something I still haven't figured out because I say there's only been a couple of years that I've been putting that striper bass together. Like, okay, well, why these bass are just hunkered in the grass? You don't want to move, but these bass here with the stripers, like, hey, man, I'm with y'all, man. I'm chasing eating bait and everything. You know, there's like two different bites that's going on at the same time.
Yeah. So I tell people this all the time about our lakes. There's always, I mean, we've got more than two things going on for most of our lakes in the South at all times. There's always a group of fish that are shallow. There's always a group of fish that are deep. If you don't believe me, just look at tournament results. There's never a tournament where all of the top 10 did the exact same thing. Maybe the St. Lawrence, maybe, like St. Lawrence River, maybe. But other than that, there's always somebody doing their thing up shallow. There's always somebody doing their thing offshore. And what I think y'all have going on is, since I don't think they really get on offshore structure there, or if you even have offshore stuff, but it's it's those fish. You got two groups of fish. You got fish that stay up in the grass all year, and then you got fish that run with those stripers probably all year. That's really probably all it is. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's true because I say you got the guys that's going to be punching them, working that outside grass line, and then like how GB said, you got the guys that's throwing the A rig and the spinner bait and the jerk bait, that's catching those fish that's want to move and chase. You know,
Yeah. I
I
like
think
this
like
time.
tournament.
I was just saying, this time of year, like right now, like it's probably one of the few times that like I'm comfortable throwing like a jig out there, just a big jig. I mean,
Hey,
obviously punching all year
I
long,
love you
but
for that, JV. Yeah, I
What
love you
did
for
you
that,
say?
GB. I love GB that he'll go out there and he'll throw a jig. He got guys back throwing jigs on the Delta. I say that, man. I'm saying that. GB will
Because
go out there and throw that jig around, and I saw him catch some dogs out there. And he got me where I was like, dang, that's out here in the Delta. It's semi like a lost art form, to throw the jig. And for GB to do that at that time and do that, it's like, yeah, and he catches them doing it. Yeah, for sure.
so tell me about that. So if you're willing to, Greg. So this is a closed community, by the way. So I think we have like 3 people from the West Coast. From the West Coast,
Oh, then welcome again.
yeah, yeah. So what is it? You throwing it on what? What's the context here? You throwing a football jig, like that's not enough. Like, is it on? Was it a creek bends, creek turns, holes, depressions, humps, rocks? What's the deal with the football jig?
yeah. So I mean, specifically, this is for the Delta we're talking about, of course. So it's like basically the time of year where some of the grass, not all of it, some of it starts to die off, and you can see more bare spots. I mean, just stand up we're in kayaks, from a boat you can see it, but you stand up, you see more bare spots, some hard bottom, and that's really the time where I can actually fish a jig. First of all, the rest of the time of year, spring,
Bare
summer.
spots in the trash you're talking about, right?
Bare spots in the
Like,
grass, but also around, hard cover like man-made structure, docks, boats, sunken boats, pilings, anything like that. Even, rocks, riprap, stuff like, the riprap is pretty much all the levees around the Delta. And most of the year, I mean, the warmer months, it's just, choked full of grass. You can't throw a jig in there. You can punch it, but you can't throw like a jig. And what I like about the jig this time of year, is again, you can actually fish it. So I need a bait that I can actually fish, productively, actually present it to a fish. And now with these bare spots, the jig will fall, sit down in those areas. And what I like about it is it's really kind of a do nothing bait for me. So got to give O a shout out for the trailer. He loves the Yamamoto Flapping Hog, and I
right.
pair that with it's I think it's a Dobbins Football Extreme jig. But that Flapping Hog, just kind of the bulk of it, it doesn't have like a ton of action, but just the bulky presentation. I don't know if how many of you guys have seen a flapping hog, but it's got some crazy looking appendages. But they're not going to give off a ton of water, and that's kind of what I like about that particular combination. You throw it into those high percentage areas, it'll kind of just sit there and just undulate, kind of just look like a very lethargic crawfish. And going back to what we were talking about earlier, kind of this time of year, right before the winter sets in, and these fish just get buried in the grass or just super tight to cover. I think right now, which is fall, is like the perfect time for these fish to be in those areas that are a little bit easier to target. They'll be there. They should eat when you put a bait in front of them. So usually that's why I tend to catch some better fish on the jig this time of year. Now it's similar in the spring because early spring kind of mimics these conditions right now. It's just kind of reversed. But that's the main reason I like fishing it is, I can actually fish it, present it, and I think it really, offers something that these fish are looking for as a meal.
Yeah, it's big, it's bulky. They already eating crawdads, so it's perfect for that. I think that does make sense for y'all to fish. I can't believe the jigs aren't more popular out west. I mean, I've been there and they look good to me.
It's just hard because most of the year, 99% of the delta is just so choked full of grass, you really can't fish it. But like, again, this time of year, these little windows, I'd say November, early December, and then you go maybe into end of February, early March. Those are like my two prime time, the only time where I'll take a football jig out on the delta. So, I mean, you probably could catch them other times of year, right place, right time, stuff like that. But for me, my experience, that's when you can not only get bit on the jig, but you can get some big ones too.
Well, nobody swims a jig out west either, do they?
Not as much as you think, and if they do, they're keeping it tight. I mean, smirking over there. Maybe he's swimming a jig. I don't know.
No. I think if it comes to swimming a jig or throwing a chatterbait, they're gonna throw that chatterbait.
Man, listen, hey,
But I wouldn't put it past somebody out there swimming a jig for sure. But you don't hear too much about that.
all those places where y'all got the toolies where it's clean,
Yeah.
start swimming that jig around there. Get you like a 3/8 ounce jig. Put your any kind of kicking trailer on the back of it. Shh, man. I don't know. I think they might like it. I don't know.
Maybe. Hey, maybe. Like I said,
I think y'all need to try it, man.
I think a lot of Delta guys is so stuck in their ways out here on the meat and potatoes. It's hard to think outside the box and do all these other things. But that something like that, somebody will come out here and do something like that and like crush, for sure.
Man,
hey, since you said that, I'm about to do it.
It's so simple. Like I remember when I got introduced to it, it's so simple that when you get your first bite doing it, you're like, ain't no way. You're like, ain't no way. You're like, well, this is the same jig I've been fishing. I don't even like to fish jigs, but I love swimming because it's visual. You keeping it up high, right under the surface, popping it.
I never did it. I said out here on the Delta and the tidal fisheries, one thing it did to me is like it's like the gift and the curse. I'm an excellent punch fisherman. I would consider myself one of the best in the world.
Right. But hey, you gotta be the people's champ. You gotta be the best in the world.
Exactly. But it hinders me from all these other techniques that could be done that could be at some times of the year be better. I tell you, like I'm punching January, February, March, April, May, June, July. It gets that window where, like I said, them fish are hunkered in that grass. They're not trying to do that right now. And so many of us who punch all the time, the whole time, you fall on the sword because they're not biting. But you did so well over the whole year that that all it takes is 5 bites. I'm just looking for 5 bites, and it's not there. And then 1 tournament, 2 tournaments, 3 tournaments, several tournaments go by before you got to be like, I got to do something different, or I go to a lake. I go to the lake, they're like, oh, if you can get that crankbait, in between there or hit that, it's like you can't even really cast like that no more because you're so used to flipping. You flip, you flip, you flip, you flip, you flip, and that's something that I feel like I struggle with a lot. Is I'm so Delta, I'm so California Delta, I'm flipping, or anywhere there's grass, I'm flipping. But now it's time to throw a frog perfectly underneath the dock in the shade or underneath that tree. And now my frog is all in the tree. And I'm like, it's like I never cast in my life. yeah, it's like I said, it's the gift and the curse, from being a tidal fisherman, and then taking your skills to the lake, because
Yeah.
it's like if you try to go from tidal fishery to lake to tidal fishery to the lake, you're not. I feel, in my opinion, you're not going to be as successful, because the tidal fisheries always switch up. These fish are always doing something different because of the tide. So you can go to the lake, and now you're fishing these lakes, and you're here, you're 3, 4, 5, 2 weeks in the lake, and then you come back to the tidal fishery where that's where you got your bread and butter at. But now you ain't been there in 2, 3 weeks, and it all changed up. They're not biting on the high tide now; they're on the low tide. And they want the incoming water in, and you ain't picked up on that, and then you start noticing that. That's why the last couple of years I had so much success, because I had to tell myself, I said, you got to pick one. Oh, you're going to be going all over the place, or are you going to stay here and be very successful on the tidal fishery? And like I said, the last 5 years or so, I've been strictly on the Delta, on the tidal fishery for tournament wise. I might venture a little bit off of the kayaks and stuff, but 99% of my tournaments are here on the Delta, where I can stay in tune. You got to stay in tune. These fish are changing. I'm changing with the fish, because I know, oh, they want this, they want that. So when tournament times come, I'm already in tune, versus the guy who just came down here and ain't been here in a month, 2 months, 3 months. Then it's like, oh, it's kind of like it's over for you. You're literally practicing while I'm already on top of these fish while they moving throughout the tides.
Yeah, I do think well, you said a mouthful there, because tidal fisheries tend to be area-driven lakes, and lakes are area-driven bodies of water, where lakes tend to be technique-driven bodies of water.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's why I think being, I don't know, one-dimensional seems like a dig, but like probably the reason you have more confidence in flipping and punching is because you really don't have to worry about what bait or what technique you're going to use. It's just where can I do that, and on what tide. That's your main
Exactly.
focus, I would imagine. Where a
Yeah.
lot of times when you go to the
Yep.
lake, conditions stay consistent all day, even for months at a time. But it's the technique. Maybe the weather is making the fish do something. Maybe the pressure of other boats is making the fish do this or that. And so you might use a worm, and then a jig works better, or a top water, or this works better. But I have
Yeah.
noticed that even on the little bit of tidal fishing that I do, even when I go saltwater fishing, like when I go saltwater fishing, this sounds like I'm exaggerating. I literally carry 2 rods, and the
Yeah.
second rod is just in case I break the first one. Really, it's just in case I break.
That's
I
so
don't even
funny.
need
That's
that.
what I do.
Yeah,
That's what I do.
yeah.
Yeah. I,
I
I
just got
keep
a second one just in case I
I
mess
keep
that
my
one up.
extra punch rod. Yeah. Just in case I
That's
break
all.
you. Yeah. I can pick you up
Woo.
yeah. And then people be like, "Oh, you got 6 rods?" Like, yeah, but the 6 rod, 5 of them are decoys. I'm only
Yeah,
throwing one rod pretty much all day. The other ones might get a 1, 2 cast if I see a perfect little area to throw it. But outside of
yeah,
that, I'm going in the whole time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's area-driven lakes, man. It's like that with
Yeah.
tidal fisheries. For whatever reason. But when you go to the lake, like if I go to Lake Hartwell, I need a jerk bait. I need a drop shot. I need a Ned. I need a minnow on. I need a
Yeah,
jig on.
yeah, yeah.
I
I
need all
go to
these
the
different
lake.
things.
The lake, I brought all my tackle with me. It don't even make any sense.
Oh,
I'm
everybody.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like,
But
I
when
don't
we
even
go
know.
to tidal
I
fishing,
gotta throw all this stuff. They want a Carolina ring. They want the A ring. They want a
Carolina
slip bait.
rig. They
It's like,
want all
I
this.
don't know,
I need a glide. They need this. But when you go
yeah,
on the tidal, you stay behind the wheel looking. What does this look like in low tide? What does this look like in high tide? Where the grass good? You don't need no
yeah.
rods. You need gas.
Right. Right, you
Yeah,
need gas. Yeah, hey, it'd
yeah.
be like, oh, first day of practice at a tournament. They like, you fishing? No, I'm just driving around.
Just driving, man.
Yeah,
Just
I'm driving
driving.
because I can spot it. Just see, like, okay, you set up. Okay, you set up. Okay, you
Yep.
set up. Day two, I'll come throw something on you to see what caliber fish live there.
Right. Hey, y'all tell me this. How much? So, like when we go to Florida, outside of the Potomac River, Florida is the place that I've been to, I think, that mimics the Delta the most. I think, some of these Tennessee River lakes are a lot like it too. But how much does water clarity influence y'all's fishing there?
I'm gonna go use the
I
restroom.
would
I'll be right back.
I would say a lot. Yeah. So like the big thing in the winter too, like when we turn to the winter time, if we do get that rain, and then obviously it just flows in from, the mountains and just chokes the delta up, gets all muddy. Oh man, it's game over. Too much mud. I've never had a good bite when it's been a muddy river. I can't actually remember a time I caught fish anywhere that was a muddy river, unless it was maybe summertime. But you add cold water in a muddy river, especially with a lot of current on top of the tide, no good. So right now is again right before those potential times. I mean, I'm going to go out as much as I can before we even have that opportunity for weather, because I know as soon as that happens, it'll get real tricky. But other times a year, it varies. It really depends on where you are in the delta. But my personal opinion is you need a little bit of a stain to really get out a good bite. Too much
Yeah.
water clarity,
A little green, a little olive.
yeah, a little
Yeah.
green, a little scummy looking, a little nasty looking, like you don't want to touch it kind of deal. But
Yeah.
that's like perfect. That's perfect. Too much clarity is always it makes it tricky. I mean, big fish are smart, and the Delta tidal fisheries, I don't think there's an exception there. The big ones are smart there. They've seen a lot of things, and when you add clean water and they can see your bait, it just makes it that much tougher. And then again, like we're talking about, or like I was saying, too dirty, too stained, man, you gotta find a needle in a haystack. You gotta put your bait right on their head. And a place like the Delta, like you guys were talking about, where it tends to be, and I agree completely, more spot location specific versus like an overall pattern. Man, that makes it super tough to find that needle in a huge haystack. So yeah, my
Yeah.
sweet spot I'd say is like 2-3 foot maybe of visibility, but nothing more than that.
Perfect. Yeah. That seems standard. I was curious because I know most grass fisheries, uh, if we have a tournament in Florida, most of those are the only places that I will pre-fish.
Yeah,
And I don't even do a lot of fishing. I do mostly riding to see where the clear water is. Because typically, if you in a grass fishery, if you find the right water clarity with the right grass, it's usually fish in it.
yeah.
So I was just really curious if it worked the same way there, but it sounds like they don't like that stained, muddy water there either. But
Not
that's what
No.
it is.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, not too stained. I mean, in the summertime, again, if you find good grass, I mean, the
The
water
clear,
clarity doesn't matter too much, just because the grass is gonna. In my opinion, like for water clarity, for me, it's really just about being able to trick the fish easier and let
mm,
like 2 3 foot visibility is kind of that sweet spot. But yeah, like if there's like clean water and you can see down 5 6 foot, but you're flipping grass, like that's okay. That would be like the exception. You catch them out of that clarity. So
yeah, yeah, gotcha, gotcha.
That grass gonna filter out a lot of that
A
dirty
lot of
yeah,
it.
water too, as well. But the California Delta, the crazy part is, like I say, is so massive, and everything looks good, but it's so much dead water to fish. So the spots is like crucial. A spot can win a guy 2, 3, 4 tournaments, and no one knows where he's at. Where the rest of this field is struggling because it's tough. Because like we always say in a tournament, they're biting somewhere.
So what makes and I can definitely attest to this when I fish with you on the Delta. We went by so many places. I'm like, well, why did you why did you skip that? So what makes it
Yeah,
like, what makes it good? Because in
I,
my mind, I was like, that's rip rap. Like what we just fished. Why did you skip that? And then
yeah.
we go, what makes a good place there?
So for a guy who fishes the Delta all the time, we'll call him a Delta rat. Um, it's the time you put on the water, because a guy I could drive on the Delta and then see somebody fishing somewhere and instantly know that you're not from the Delta, because nobody from the Delta will fish there, even though it looks good. None of us
Yeah,
fish there because we all have fished there at some part of our time out here and know that there's no fish there to be caught. But then there's certain areas on the Delta, for whatever reason, just hold these big fish there. Every year, for some reason, they continue to go back there. They go back there. They go back there. That's why you'll see the same faces when you pull up to a certain slough and be like, "Yep, I see you." You're like, "Yeah, because we all done caught big fish at this slough or this slough or this slough. So there's several sloughs or whatever in the Delta that just forever, all time of the year hold big fish. Now,
It,
all year they're not there. Certain times of the year that they're there. The first fisherman that goes to this area and be like, oh, it's set up. Oh, dude, they're there. He got it. While the rest of us, we know that spot holds fish, but there's so many other spots that hold fish that we're steady checking. But this is the one that's going off now. Then that can go for a couple of weeks and then it's done. And then this old other slough over here, they turned on. Now they're over there, and then and it's kind of like that. It's like for whatever reason, some of these sloughs, I'll say something. Maybe one of the major parts of this is in the tidal fishery, spots that have the grass, but the deep enough water where when the tide fluctuates, it's still enough water where the fish don't have to move and do all this up and down and up and down. They can kind of stay in the
I got
same place because it's so much water. Exactly. Them type of areas are crucial and key in the tidal fishery, in my opinion, because it's dead low tide, but it's still enough water for that big fish to still chill there and have to, or she to have to go wherever to go make sure to get in some water.
if I'm hearing
That on
you
the
right,
tidal fishery? Huh?
if I'm hearing you right, what you're looking for is contour or depth, so the fish can go up and down something. It could be docks, it could
Yes.
be cables, piers, man-made structures, even the
Yes.
grass itself, but not have to go back and forth, in and out.
Yes.
They can
That
go up and down, but not in and out.
that's golden.
Yeah, I hear you because
Gold.
the saltwater is like that. That's one thing I learned saltwater fishing is all fish relate to the tide the exact same, regardless of the species, because they're just moving with the food. Is really what's all happening. It's the exact same thing. Fishing for redfish and trout, same thing.
Because
They
you're
like
gonna
to
get
go
those spots
somewhere.
where it's negative.
Yeah,
Where's
negative, nothing.
the
It
negative
don't
tide?
exist.
Yeah,
Yeah, where it
negative
don't
tide where
exist.
the water is on the ground. So I feel like them big fish that's been around for years and years and years, that's super smart. It's like I'm not trying to be places when that negative tide come that I gotta cruise super far. I like it where no matter how negative the
I
tide
hear you.
gets, I can still just go and come back up. And there's abundance of food. You
That
find
right
that
there is the game though. What you talking about
that's
now is the actual game because like why is the spot good? That's the
yeah,
game right there. We can talk
that's
baits,
the
we can talk colors, we can talk rods,
game.
reels, kayaks, and boats all day. But look, if you
Yes,
take over there on that flat at negative tide, it don't mean that
yes,
right
it
there
does.
is the
And
game. That's how you know where to go on these places.
yep, you
Uh,
find that
that
stuff
makes
there
a
is golden.
Yeah, I hear you there. Because now thinking back, one of the places it was in that clip that I had on the trailer that we had for this class. What that place I could see it at the lowest tide, it would still have a lot of water in it. It had some docks in it. We fishing at lowest tide, it would still have plenty of grass in it. I mean,
I
plenty of
love
water.
those spots. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love.
that makes
If you
sense.
find that, hold on to that, and you gotta always keep it honest and go check it.
I hear you.
Always.
I hear you. I hear
Yep.
you. That I hear that loud and clear. That was all I needed to hear right there. I heard that part. That
Yeah.
stuff
If you
like
didn't
that
pick
just
up nothing from the show, that's
that's it.
it. If you want a title fishery, yeah.
Yeah,
You you used to mention this. I should tell. So that spot you guys fished in that video, dude. What's crazy? I think I checked that. Oh man, I checked it at one point this year because there was a tournament by that. Zero grass. It's gone. It's all gone.
Hey,
Isn't that
hey,
crazy?
B Lat, that so let me tell you that time when we came out, right? I
right.
won 3 tournaments before B Lat came out there from in that spot. I took 2 seconds and a third from that spot. Made over 20 grand in that spot, right? And I fished it so much, I knew the window. And that's one of those spots too, where it didn't matter how high or how low the tide was, the fish can be comfortable. They didn't have to leave. The water was good enough there. And they had the docks, they had the
They got something
the
to hold
wire,
it
the
up.
cable. Exactly. So we was out there fishing. I'm like, we're gonna go fishing, but I knew in the back of my mind that at noon we can go there and for sure catch fish. I done dialed in the window. I already know by all the time I put in. They like to eat during that time, and I looked at the tide. It was noon, and I just won a tournament before you got there. There,
Right.
so I knew that. And that grass, and that was one of the areas where they didn't spray. So the grass is there, the dock is there, the shad like to come in, the crawfish in the rock, the bluegills, everything was set up perfectly. So
Yeah.
when we went there, I already knew we was going to catch them because everything was perfect right there. And that's one of those rare occasions on the Delta. And it only comes from putting in so much time on the water that you can put all these pieces together where you can call your shot. You know what I'm saying? And like GB said, so now here we go. Fast forward. After the show clips airs and everything, they start building more homes there. $1 million homes. Pop, 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 pop. Now millionaires is coming there looking at the home and they got big yacht and jet ski. They like, well, I don't want all this grass sitting in front of my house, clogging up my boat and all that. That's bringing that. That don't look like millionaire status. So what they do? Spray all the grass, kill all the grass. Once they killed all the grass, fish is like, I'm butt naked out here. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I still feel like there's still some big residence fish there, but they can't hold to nothing. So that spot pretty much died after that episode aired.
Yeah. Happens all the time on grass fisheries. That's the hardest part on any grass fishery is following the grass, staying with the healthy grass. That's the
yes.
big
Yes, because when they come and spray it, that it's like, oh, it hurts your heart because you can went out there on Monday and been like, they're in here. Tournament
right.
Saturday. It's over. I don't even need to come practice. Like they're
Yeah.
here. And then on Thursday they came and sprayed it with the water hose and the fireman hose, and now them fish choked up the oxygen and whatnot, and then it's gone. Like whatever stuff they using with the Roundup and stuff in there. Hey man, they are just tearing it to pieces. And then them fish they have no choice but to vacate and find something else.
Yeah, they got to leave.
Yep.
Michael, did we have any questions popping up in the chat on the live?
There were a couple in there. Let's see. Mactoon said, what kind of grass are they fishing? Most of my titles are brackish, not much of any real grass.
Yeah. So, what is y'all's grass? I think I know, but tell us what y'all's grass is out there on the Delta O, or Greg, either one of you guys.
What's the at this time, I need Mark James to come and do the whole
Hey, yeah. Hey, Mark is a grassologist.
He is. He would break down every piece. GB, you know what it's called?
Yeah, no, we got hydrilla, we got milfoil. I mean, they try to get rid of some of that hydrilla and milfoil, but there's still a bunch of it out there. And then, like Matthew said in the, I mean, it's not technically grass, I guess, but tules, hyacinth. So there's plenty of vegetation out there. It's just, and that's like a whole nother kind of talking about spraying and like that. I don't know if it's like a debate out here, but it is kind of like I totally see why they have to do it, just because it's a river. And if they don't spray, like that stuff's gonna clog up certain, parts of the waterway. I totally get it. Yeah. It's just when they go, but how many tournaments though you find like the magic stretch, and then you show up on Saturday and it's just burnt to a crisp. But and again, maybe some of it is a little excessive. I don't know. I have no idea, but we still have tons
from
of
a fisherman's standpoint.
Yeah,
I like it as a fisherman, man. Those jet skis could get through it, man. But I said when we had the COVID shutdown and everything was shut down on the Delta, they couldn't spray. And one thing about the hydrilla and the grass, that stuff multiplies crazy. If you take one piece of this grass and put it in your swimming pool, in a couple months, your whole swimming pool is covered in it, right? So, but what was cool was when it was shut down, the whole Delta had 3/4 of the Delta was filled with grass, like everywhere. But what it do to the fishing? Oh, you go out there catch you 30 pounds like it was nothing.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I want to say,
they
like the
got
grass, like the grass sometimes, in it's probably everywhere, but I'm just kind of speaking on the Delta because we're talking about tidal fisheries. It's like when we're talking about the spots, how it can be very spot specific. Like once you get into a spot, sometimes it can be very like vegetation specific. So like
right.
sometimes you'll have to punch milfoil, or sometimes you'll have to punch hyacinth, or sometimes you'll have to punch tules. It's very, very strange. And I guess the word's not strange, but it is strange that like these fish not only are in a certain spot, but they're just gravitating towards a certain piece of vegetation. And you got to pick the right vegetation, or at least if you want to be efficient and productive and catch as many fish as you can during the day, you got to pick the right piece of vegetation. So there's like that added piece of the puzzle. And I don't know, there could be a million reasons if like maybe that's where the bait is, or the crawfish are hanging out, or the bluegill or whatnot. But I mean, the Delta, yeah, like we were saying, it's got a ton of vegetation, even with the spraying. So it's still very healthy. I mean, I throw the drone up all the time, and it's crazy what you see like just from above. I mean, it's I think some of the healthiest fisheries are places that have just an abundance and different types of vegetation. I think that's why Clear Lake is so good. Clear Lake has multiple vegetation sources and just habitat, and it just lends to a really healthy ecosystem and fishery to breed big bass and a lot of bass too.
That's the Gunnersville of the West Coast. I've always heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it's the Gunnersville of the West Coast. The Gunnersville's like that. It's just got so much stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a good question popped in here. This is one I always struggle to answer. It's like I know what to do, but I know in my mind what I would do in this situation, but I struggle with articulating this. Doc Trez, he says, is there a pattern for the rotation of fish from slough to slough or spot to spot or just random? So I think what he's mentioning is like how O was talking about how there's certain areas that just tend to hold fish. Is there a way that you rotate through those fish during a day of fishing or tournament fishing, or is it just random?
I mean, like I said, out here on the Delta, there's several sloughs that are just going to always hold fish. But a key of that is that deeper water where the fish can still move through the tidal system. So you got the deeper water that the fish can move through the tidal system, but for whatever reason, big love that spot, and it takes years and years and years and years and years to figure that out. To know that hey, you can go to this slough, this slough. So knowing that there's 7 or 10 sloughs that hold big fish all year long, getting them to bite is one thing. But if I can rotate through all these 7 sloughs all year long, but I always got to check them. Let me check you. 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 And then I check you, and then I catch a couple of big ones. Like here. And I said, nothing's going to replace time on the water. I don't care. You can watch 1,000 videos. You can hear 1,000 people talk about fishing. You go to your body of water. Go out there Monday. You never look at when you go out there fishing and you don't catch any fish. You never look at that as a bad day. Out here in the Delta, that's eliminating water. Okay,
that's information.
Not here. Yeah, exactly. You're picking up on that. You never go and be like, "Oh, I got skunk." What? No.
No.
It wasn't here. It wasn't here.
Don't go there no more. That's all that means.
Right. Okay, I checked you. I checked you on high tide. I checked you on low tide. I gave you all the bop, 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 bop. Okay, cool. Right. Let me go to this other spot. Let me check you on high tide. Let me check you on tide. Oh, you're not there too. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Saturday can show up at this other spot and you did the same thing. You spent all day there. And guess what? During the incoming tide, the outgoing tide, they showed themselves. On Wednesday, you caught small fish. Tuesday, you caught no fish. Wednesday, you caught all right fish. Saturday,
yeah.
That's what it takes. You can watch everybody. You can hear everything we're saying. Take all this information. Go put that time on the water. When you do catch that big fish, you caught 1, you caught a 3, you caught a 5, you caught a 7. Stop. What's the tide doing? What's this weather doing? What that water temperature look like? How did you catch them? Can I duplicate that somewhere else? Is it just here? Ask the questions that make you a better fisherman. Not just catch the fish and be like, that's a good one, and then move on and this and that. And you got to stop and say,
debrief.
And take mental notes of, this is why I caught it. Okay, can I duplicate that? I'm gonna come back here tomorrow, fish the same time, and see, was that a window? Is that the tide? Is that the weather? Or was that a fluke?
Yeah, boy.
Let you know.
Hey.
Because there's been times that you could crush them, come back and be like, nothing, 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 nothing. And be like, okay, just for some reason they was just eating that day. Or you
Right.
come back the next day, the same time, the same window, and be like, this is the same window, the same time. I caught the same type of fish. Okay, cool. Tournament time come. I'm ready. I already kind of dialed it in, you know. But it takes you going out there, hitting the high tide, hitting the low tide, seeing what both tides got to have to offer for you, and rotating areas. You know, a lot of guys like to fish. I know some guys can't fish as much as we get to fish. I understand that. And it's easy to say, well, last week or 2 weeks ago, I caught fish here. I'm coming back here to catch more fish. And I don't care. I'm just catching a couple of fish. But you got to get out that comfort zone and say, you know what? I done caught some fish here. There was threes or fours. But let me go try this whole nother area and take that pattern I learned there and apply it over here and see if this is a thing. They're in the tulies with a little bit of grass. Let me see if I can catch them at this other little buck, because you might move that whole section and those threes and fours turn to fives and sixes. But you only gonna know if you go out there and explore it.
Right. I hear you loud and clear on that one. So, we got some people. They want to see your bait again in the chat. You flipped it in the screen. We want to get it.
Yeah. Hey, you guys. These are called the yonder tails. My plan is to have these available end of this year, top of the year. I also got, you hear that? Rattles in my punch rod. Hey, tournament winning base, man. I done took years and years and years and years to make the perfect punch bait, man. You know, I said I'm working on the packaging right now to get them done. They call yonder tails. I got ones with rattles, ones without rattles. You know, because sometimes I said a lot of times you can flip up in there and instantly, like 90% of your punches is gonna be, as soon as it go through, it's on instant. It's just reaction, bow, right? But sometimes you got to yo-yo, especially this time of the year. Them fish don't want to move, and then that's when that rattle, pumping up and down, it kind of brings them to them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the cool thing is you guys are the first ones to actually witness it. I've been in, and this is the prototype. And yeah. And I said, you know what? I told the wife, I said, I'm bringing them out today. I want them the first to know this.
Away a little bit. Oh, hold it back a little bit further from the camera so we see the whole thing. Oh, wait, yeah. Not quite that.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, right there.
Yeah. Yep.
And did some field testing the other day, and they clearly work. So
yeah. So me and GB went out and did the OG show, and that was the first time I actually brought it out, you know, for the people. And like I said, this was me years and years of going through a ton of punch baits and taking everything I know and what I feel like they like, and the scent and everything to come up with this bait here. And let me tell you, I didn't I didn't got on this bait. Hey, you know what I'm saying? If you ask anybody in California Delta how I get down, they gonna tell you. And I finally feel like I came up with the perfect bait. And then I said, and I got tipped my hat to GB, because I'm super like secretive. I don't be wanting nobody to know nothing how I do. And GB got me out my shell to be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Show it to the masses, show it to the people. They love you. You know, let's you know, because the fishing game is all about love, man. And I'm about to give this to you guys, and I'm telling you, you take this to your body water, put this on a trailer, Texas rig it, punch it for sure, and guarantee you're gonna get dupes, you're gonna catch younders, probably the biggest fish you ever caught. Y'all hear it. That's it.
Did you not show me that when we were at the Delta like 3 years ago?
So I had a different prototype then, right?
Okay.
And I was with my other guy, and we was doing it, and he loved it, but it was still something that I didn't like about it. Then he didn't want to do it no more, and I said, you know what? I need to make the changes I want to change to make it perfect. And I feel like right now I made it perfect to where I can catch them. Like if you see me out there, or if you see any plaques or anything I got, it's gonna be this. You know what I'm saying? I said, and let me tell you something. The colors I like, I like the crawdad, the orange, because sometimes they change. Like I got a darker red, but sometimes they're orange. Sometimes they're darker red. Sometimes you need that bluegill. You know what I'm saying? You need that bluegill in your life. You know, and then that water might be stained. Might need that black and blue. These flaps, man, they gonna let off a lot of action in there. And you know, sometimes you might need that purple rain. Purple rain,
purple rain.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You might need, you might need that, man. You know what I'm saying? And I said, then I got that lighter green. You know, because when it comes to punching, a lot of times I want to put y'all on some game. A lot of times, them brighter colors. Let's be real. When you punching, you think when that weight and that base dropping down that fast, that fish is doing slow motion eyes, and he's like, "Durr." No, it's coming down super fast. What's gonna catch him is that color, that bright color. You know what I'm saying? And I have this where I made it slim, no pinnages on the side, so it slides down easy. So you ain't trying to work it all through the bait, through the mat, 1,000 times, because sometimes that boat moving, the kayak moving, and you trying to work it, and it's not going through. That the whole object is getting in there. Silent entry, getting in. No pinnages so it can go smooth in there. The big flap so it moves a lot of water. And then I also got rattles or no rattles, how you depend on feeling. But the rattles kind of, I feel like when I yo-yo it,
Dude.
drawing him to him. It's
Yeah,
drawing it to him.
Is so like we're for real, like we did some field testing. Well, we were punching the other day. We did OG. I think it was OG episode 3. Was it like last week Friday? But it was so funny because obviously got some good ones on that bait, and can't make this up. End of the day, you know, going back to the color mattering, and I don't think this is coincidence, but literally, you get right back to the ramp, and I swear to you, there's a 6-inch crawdaddy on the ramp, like this, just like hanging out, and he's bright red. I was like, "What is this?" Like, but it's just kind of like, you know, the piece of the puzzle. It's like, okay,
hey,
it look like
and GB, because so GB he edits all the footage, so he gets to see everything I have from the cameras and everything. Prior to this, I was switching colors to make sure that I wasn't missing out on nothing. So I started with this. I had plenty of base going down the bank with this. Bop, 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 right? Then I said, well, let me just make sure, because in theory, you'll catch a lot more fish on crawdaddy, but you'll catch the bigger fish on a bluegill color, right? Bow. So same time, but I only got one fish on the bluegill, but it was my biggest fish, I want to say. But I didn't get that many bites. So now I go back through a third time. I said, let me throw that purple on them, because I feel like everybody who drop shots and you throw a margarita mutilator, that's like a color. So yeah, that purple. Color. So let me throw that purple rain on them, right? So I'm throwing it. I didn't throw it as much as I threw the crawdaddy, but I'm throwing it. GB was like, hey, they're going to close the gate soon. We only got 30 minutes. So I was like, let me put purple rain down and let me pick up crawdaddy. And instantly when I picked up crawdaddy, instantly got another bite. And then I get back to the ramp, and then GB say, look what's down here. Crawdaddy. You know what I'm saying? So you got to pay attention to that. Is there a lot of bluegills cruising through there? Is there crawdads sitting on top eating? To me, those are your main two colors. You can fish those two colors and don't have to worry about nothing else. A crawdad color and a bluegill color. They gonna eat one of these, and they want one of these. And I got what you want, baby. You know what I'm saying? Come next month, hit your boy up.
What I need.
You need, man. You want to be the guy in your body of water, showing them guys up, going behind guys, be like, I just fished that patch and there was nothing there. And then they look at you and, dude, yes, sir. That's me, baby. That's what you're going to need, man. Yonder tail. Coming soon.
I like that name. Hey, you might could have called him Younger Balls, but we ain't even going to go there.
Yeah.
You could have called him Younger Balls, but we ain't going to talk about that.
I could have. Yeah.
Hey. So Destiny wants to know. She says, "Will you guys be fishing the Clear Lake Bassmaster Kayak Tournament next year?"
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Yeah, I think that June 6th, 7th, I want to say.
Really?
Yeah.
I already
Yeah.
booked
Hey,
our
I love the Bassmaster circuit, man. Hey, you know your boy won it on the Delta this year, so I'll be out there at Tennessee, man, at Cucamonga, at Lake Chickamauga, fishing for the title, man. I'm planning on going out there winning it. You already know. Yeah.
I'll never unhear what you just said. I'm gonna start calling it that from now on. Where do you? I was saying Lake Cucamonga. I like that. Whoa. Hey, I couldn't unhear it. I wasn't gonna let that one slide. No, I was not gonna let you just finish with that. Lake Cucamonga. Boy. Hey, you done went way too black. Hey, don't let people know you that black. God dang.
I
Lake
did.
Cucamonga. Oh, come
You
on,
got
bro.
it. I thought I could slide it by everybody. I could.
I wasn't let that one. You can know. Right? When you say, I said, rewind.
Hey, Cucamonga.
Yeah, you gotta make a reel out of that one.
Oh, hey, it's Cucamonga from here on out. I will never fish Lake Cucamonga ever again. Lake Cucamonga, because why would you not call that? That's way better. I don't care what Chickamauga Indians say. It's got to be Chickamauga Indian. It's Cucamonga.
It's Cucamonga, man. Your boy give him a
Cucamonga.
cocktail or two. It's Cucamonga. That's what we going. So your boy gonna be fishing Lake Cucamonga for the Bassmaster
Hey, but listen,
Classic, man.
I knew exactly what you were talking about. I knew exactly.
It's similar, to be fair.
Exactly the way. I knew exactly what he was talking about. I didn't even second guess. I was like, he's talking about Chickamauga. I knew it. I knew he said Lake Cucamonga. Boy, I like that. That's good. I couldn't let you slide. I couldn't let you go. Anybody else I would have let go. But I could not let you.
You couldn't.
You couldn't. I couldn't do it.
Let that one go. I thought I could slide it by. I couldn't.
No, man. Hey, no, that was too good. Hey,
that's funny.
So, let me see. I saw another question in here I wanted to ask. Let's see. Somebody asked where. Ray asked, "Where can they get your merch at?" Where can they get your merch? Oh.
All right. So right now,
he wants a robe.
He wants a robe right now.
You trying to be big time? Oh, okay. Hey, listen.
Hey, it's an application for the robe, ain't it?
It is. That's why you gotta DM me on Ripping Lips Obity Williams on Instagram. I gotta talk to you. That's how you get the robe. Me and you gotta Yeah. Hey, Ripping Lips. I'm Obity Williams. OBEDIE Williams on Instagram. DM me. I'm gonna get you straight. You're gonna be a different person. You're gonna walk taller. You're gonna glide across water. You're gonna catch bigger fish. You're gonna be yelling out, dude! Your whole life gonna change. You're gonna be walking around your family. They're gonna be like, it's something different about you. All that stuff is gonna happen once you get in the robe game, baby. Trust me.
Hey,
DM me.
I'm
everybody.
Right now.
Chat, man. You want, like I said, the Ripping Lips gear, baby. You know what I'm saying? You want the Yonder gang? You want to be part of that Yonder gang, man? Hey, also, when you do catch a Yonder, send me the picture on Instagram. I'm posting it. Let everybody know you part of this Yonder gang. It's a community, and that's what we do. We catch small fish, of course. There's nowhere around that. But we also catch them Younders. You know what I'm saying? Once it get past 3 pounds, you ain't in the pounds no more. You in the younds. You know, anything out there? And the 1s and 2s, those are youncers. You catch a 1 youncer, 2 youncers. Now you in the 3 younders. Welcome to the club.
I like youncers.
You like that? Youncers, man.
I love the youncers.
DC and MAD came up with the youncers. Let me know. Say, oh, you got younders, but what about the guys who just catch the small fish? Oh, they catching youncers. You know they catching youncers.
Hey, that's me. There I am. There I am. You got to give me another robe. I need a new robe. Hey, you don't
Yeah.
even get a robe. You might have to give me like a thong or something for that. Hey,
Yeah,
you can't wear a robe
like
when
a
you catch
tank
a
top. You
youngster.
can't wear you can't wear no robe with younce. I'm going to get you like a little half belly shirt tank top or something.
That's what I'm about to
Something
say.
light.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, one of
something
them
light.
high cut shirts, tank top.
I might got to give out handkerchiefs or something. You got a handkerchief.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to
Yes.
work your way up to yonder, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
But hit
my
me up, man.
God.
Send me a picture of a yonder, man. You can buy one of these rolls, man. Get your mind right. Get your life right. Yeah. But instantly, right now, I don't have the website up right now, but to keep it funky with you guys, I do appreciate everybody DM me because everybody who bought stuff from me, I chop it up with you. We get to
Yeah.
talk it up, and you know what I'm saying. Now we people, everybody who got merch from me, you physically talk to me. You know what I'm saying? So
You're in the community.
it's even more. And then those who live close to me, I didn't actually met up with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Blew their whole mind up like, I can't believe I'm meeting you. Like, you're the same person. Of course I'm the same person, baby. That's me. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
got the smile. I got the positive energy, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just nothing but love, man. I'm here to do my part in this fishing community, man, and bring everybody together like these two brothers I got right here, man, I love to death, you know?
That's right. That's awesome, dude. You in the community. You get a robe. You in there. You in there. Hey, you in there. All right. So I got
Hey,
another question.
Brian,
This one's
I saw.
yeah.
I think Tim mentioned getting links for these guys and all that stuff. So when I repost the video, I'll make sure
Okay.
to get all the links.
Perfect.
There we go.
Great. Yeah. Um. So Greg. So Fred James is asking. He says, when throwing an A rig, can you tell us about your setup? What test line? Can you give us a rundown on your A rig?
Yeah. It's pretty simple. I mean, I actually enjoy like a smaller A rig, so I'm not like slinging a giant chandelier of an A rig out there. I've done it before, but lately, I'd say the past 2.5 years, I like a smaller A rig. It's called the Dark Horse Mini Max A rig, if you're wondering. So five arms out here in California. You can only have three hooks on at a time, so it's got three hooks or jig head hooks and then two teasers. But because it's a smaller A rig, I can actually throw that on, a 7.6 medium heavy fast rod or a 7.6 heavy. Sometimes it'll just depend if I'm using heavier jig heads. But we'll say 7.6 medium heavy. That's been my go-to. I'm using, 6-7 to 1 reel. So something not super slow, but not super fast either. 20-pound test fluorocarbon, straight fluoro. That's just kind of what I've found to be the best line because, I mean, these fish, the fun thing about the A-rig bite is they just smoke it. It is such a violent, vicious bite. I swear, half the time I get bit on it on the Delta, I think it's a striper, and it's usually a bass. But I mean, I need that big line because Delta fish, they can get you in a lot of trouble quickly with all the cover, the structure around. So that 20-pound fluorocarbon is just kind of like that perfect size for me. I don't go any bigger, nothing smaller. So yeah, that's pretty much the setup. As far as the baits, like the minnows, I like 3.6 Berkeley Champ swimmers. You could use like Kitex, but I don't know. I kind of like that finessey A rig. I think it's just a very good. I don't want to say it's a hybrid between a spinner bait and an A rig, but it just off. I think I get more bites on it, and the quality doesn't seem to go down. Plus, I can fish it in like tighter areas. So if you guys haven't tried like a finesse A rig with like some 3.6 swim baits on it, I highly recommend it. It's kind of been like my confidence, A rig, so to speak, for the past couple of years.
Tell me the name. I'm on Tackle Warehouse now. I see Dark Horse custom base. And you say, was this a mini or was it just any of these Dark Horse?
It's a mini max. It should be a mini max.
Mini Max. Dark Horse Mini Max. I'm gonna put this link in the chat too, guys. Dark Horse.
And it's super durable. I've sometimes you get an A rig and you got to bend the arms out a bunch of times and fold them back in and all that jazz, and then eventually the arm pops off. I've never snapped off an arm yet, so that's just and caught a lot of fish on them too. So they're super durable. I think they're like, I don't know what they're like, $25, something like that. But they're really quality.
I think it was 30 on Tackle Warehouse. About let me go back and look. I'm putting the link in the chat right now, y'all. Sorry, I made a typo there, but this is it. That tackle warehouse link that y'all are looking at right now, that is that's that Dark Horse Mini Max. Let me see. Let me go back and see how much it costs. It was Dark Horse Custom Base Mini Max 3. I did the 3 hook, 3 rig.
Yeah, that's California.
3.
Yeah. So you, I mean,
$23.
depending on your state, obviously, whatever amount of hooks you can have on legally, I mean, you can change it up. When I go to New York, I get the 5 hook because in New York you can have 5 hooks, but out here in Cali, it's 3 hooks, which doesn't really matter because honestly, they 9 times out of 10 they always eat the middle one or the bottom. Like they never eat the top because you can see the way that. I mean, most A rigs are like that, but you can see the way the top 2 teaser arms are the hardest baits to get, and then the fish are just vulnerable, or the baits in the back and the bottom are the vulnerable ones, and they'll smoke those.
Right. Yeah. I haven't fished the A rig in years. I really should revisit that. I mean, it's been a long time since I've thrown a rig. Long time.
Yeah, it's kind of been in waves for me. I've been the same way. Like I've kind of got real hot on it, and then kind of but it's fall right now, and then going into winter, it's like it's a staple. It's on the deck no matter. Well, in the kayak, not on the deck. I fish on a plastic.
Wintertime is when it excels here in the South. Wintertime, the colder it is, the better it is. That A rig era, like I guess that was probably 10 years ago now. Oh my God, the bags used to be so big around here in the winter. And then it just went away. I don't know what happened. I don't know if they stopped biting it or what happened. But God, it just went as quick as it came in, it went away. But it's something that nobody talks about. And I'd be curious to see how, if I started back throwing it, how it would show up. I'm actually really curious that you say that. I haven't done anything in the app on the A rig either at all. So I probably should do
the A rig.
Yeah.
Love it.
We'll do maybe 1 or 2 more questions, and then we let these guys get to their lives here. I saw one. I lost it when it refreshed here. One thing I love to hear both of y'all talked about, because I know both of y'all have done this, is kayak versus fishing from the bass boat. Give me some. What are y'all noticing? Biggest differences? How you're approaching your lakes on your kayak versus the boat? Which one of you guys like? I got both. I have a lot of kayak guys. I have a lot of boat guys, and I have people that do both. What are y'all experiencing with those two?
Well, I mean, O would be the perfect one. O's fishing out of both. I'm obviously primary kayak, but O is one of the few people I know that really like splits it like 50-50. Like he's got his boats, he's got root beer and his the other boats, and then he's got his couple of kayaks. So I'll let you go, O. You definitely the one to say about this.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Ever since I got into the kayak world, I mean, I've been a boat guy my whole life. When I got into the kayak, it's like one of those things where it's like it's hard to even tell somebody. It's like you need to experience for yourself. I feel like if you really love fishing, you definitely need to do both. I feel like a lot of boat guys don't get into the kayak world due to they feel like I'm not trying to fall in the water. And kayaks then came so far now where they're pretty much mini boats. Like it's like pretty much standing on the platform of your boat on the kayak. They're so durability that the durability is there, the stable, and they're so stable. I love it. But one thing I say like from the kayak is I love being so low to the ground to the water. You can feel that in your soul first off, it's like when a guy say, "Oh, just being out there in your boat," and then you see all the scenery, and then you can feel it. When you're in the kayak, you feel it more. I'd say people like this. Boat world to be checkers, and the kayak is chess. And I say that because in the boat, you don't like that area, pack up, whoop, whoop, whoop. You gone. You can go, you can whoop, 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 3, 17, 20 spots, hit the whole body of water many times as you want. The kayak, not the same. You got to kind of, especially in a tournament, you're thinking of, well, I need to figure this out because the only alternative is motoring back or pedaling back the 1, 2, 3 miles back to the ramp, loading everything back up, drive into a whole nother ramp, unloading it, loading all my stuff in back in there, and then going fishing. Then you kind of think like, I need to figure this out here. Kayak made me a better fisherman just due to that I have to figure it out on most spots. When normally in a boat, I ain't trying to figure it out. I'll go check this. I'll take the same technique and go to the other side of the lake, and then I'll head over there. You know, the kayak forces me to be like, all right, well, let's pull this out of arsenal. Let's try this. Let's try that. You know, I love that. One of the biggest things I love about kayak fishing from the boats is when I'm in my boat and I'm punching grass or whatnot, the grass can be 50, 60 feet from the bank. Well, when you're in your boat, it's only so far that trolling motor, you're not trying to grind that trolling motor all in the grass. It's only so far it's going to go anyway. And then you're trying to make long flips to try to get to the back. Well, in my kayak, I'm gliding over all that grass to get into the back. To the back, where them fish tucked all the way in the back, especially in the tidal reservoir or river, where now them fish are comfortable being all in the back, knowing that not too many lures come back here. It's impossible. We're way back here. I'm fishing untapped water. And that does something to your brain, where it's like, oh man, these fish ain't even seen a lure. And I can't tell you how many times I threw a frog, punched it. You can throw a frog in untapped water. You see like Jaws is coming. You can see a whole wake for that fish to come hit that. And it was just like, oh my gosh. Like in a boat, you'd be like, man, I wonder all the way back there, 100 feet, where those tulies are, and the grass, we can't get to them. But you know on the high tide, them fish are tucked in there. I can't reach them. That kayak can reach them, you know. But then I love my boat where the wind kicks up, or you want to go check 2 or 3 other spots, but I'm not trying to load up everything and go over there. I can pick up and then drive 70 miles an hour, whoa, 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 and then get to the spot and then fish it comfortably. And even if the wind kicks up 20 miles an hour, I can still fish it pretty much comfortably versus a kayak. A kayak, that wind kick up, it can get dangerous on you, especially if you made a long run or you crossed the lake or whatnot, and then you got to head back. Hey, nothing's more scarier than when you like try to head back and you know that wind kicked up. It's like, ah, man, this ain't too much. But it's like the best. It's like having a boat and a kayak is the best of both worlds. I tell people all the time, like, listen, don't never knock a kayak until you try it. I guarantee 90% of the guys in a bass boat, if they fish the kayak, they will fall in love with it. And another thing where I like to say that a kayak fisherman can become better than a boat fisherman on this set of rules as well, especially out here. 95% of the tournaments that's done out this way on California, they're team tournaments. They only have a handful of pro-ams that they do where it's just you. And then on the pro-ams, a lot of them are shared weights. So it's only a very slim figure of guys that you're just fishing by yourself in a boat. In a kayak, only fishing by yourself. You're fishing against everybody else. You net the fish, you find the fish, all that. All you guys who's fishing team tournaments, you got a partner. You know what I'm saying? You not on, he on. You catch a fish, he netted. He got a spot, you got a spot. So you're doing all of that. But then the kayak guy, he has to figure that all out by himself and catch the fish by himself, net the fish by himself. And I like that. When I go out there and there's 100 of kayakers, there's 100 of us fishing all by ourselves. We all got to figure it out. We all got to compete. In a team tournament, majority, which all the tournaments are team tournaments, you got you some help. You know what I'm saying? You want to see what you're really about? Get you a kayak and go out there. And you know, because a lot of boat guys, they'll frown on the kayak guys. You know, man, kayak, them guys don't. Go out there and fish against those guys.
Yeah,
Go fish against them guys and see how hard it is to do good. Yeah. Them guys and women know what they doing out there, man. And the competition just keeps getting stiffer and stiffer out there in the kayak world. You know, it's like I said, I ain't taking that from the boat world because the competition is stiff on that too. But I was able to do something that I would probably say I was the first out here to do it. I was the guy fishing the boats. Oh, everybody know me in the boat world out here. You know, I done fished them all, every circuit and all that stuff. And then when I got to cross over to the kayak world, everybody knows me there, but then it was like two different worlds, and different, but they're both just wonderful to be in. If
Oh,
you're in the kayak world and you want to get a boat, definitely get a boat. If you're in a boat, if you want to get a kayak, definitely get a kayak. They both of them will welcome you with open arms.
hey, here's a question. I mean, so it's kind of interesting. You could probably see this over time, but like for me, and kind of going back to Bilat's question, like the different approaches to kayak fishing, and kind of talking about why we do it one way or the other. Yeah, like one of the biggest things, honestly, is probably because it's really all I've known. I've never owned a boat or anything. And I like the comment from who was it? Matthew or Mark said, "Never getting root beer again." Yeah, shout out to Mark. Never getting a root. Well, I'm gonna try to get in root beer again. We know how that goes.
Yeah. Hey,
So,
me and GB made root beer famous. See, which was so cool was, I always been on the side of you don't need a lot of money to get in this game. Don't let these guys trick you that you need 1,000 patches on your jersey. You need $100,000 boat. You need $100,000 truck to compete with these guys. Yeah, I bought root beer for $5,000. I got a Sequoia out there with 200,000+ miles on it. I got for $4,000. I will go out there and win a tournament with a smile. And what unconsciously knowing that I just had to do that because I didn't want to not be in the tournament. My main boat broke down. Root beer was the only boat I had to use. And I mean, when I got there in the morning to put root beer in, I had to mix the gas and the oil together, and she needed to warm up. So there's like 100 boats around, and then I gotta let off 1,000 miles of smoke on there. Everybody's choking on smoke. $100,000, $1,000,000 of boats out there. And I'm like, get warmed up, fellas. You know what I'm saying? Guys was like, this guy is out here in the slowest boat and the cheapest boat, but he's winning. It don't matter. Let me tell y'all a little secret. One day I was out there, a largemouth came up. He said, "What's up, Oski?" I said, "What's up?" He said, "Hey, we don't care what kind of boat you got." I said, "I figured that." And then he went back down. Ever since he told me that, I didn't care. So GB started putting the root beer, and we breaking down, and we doing all this stuff. So then I was like, man, you know what? It's time for me to get rid of root beer. Like, root beer actually won like $50,000 that year, damn near, in tournament winnings. But I was like, it's time to root beer motor blue. It's time to get rid. I got hundreds of emails. You better not get rid of root beer. Root beer motivated me. Dudes was like, I told my son, because my son thought he needed $100,000 boat. He said, look at let's just get you regular boat. I said, hey, you will have more out of fishing if you start with just whatever you can afford. Trust me. Work your way up. You will appreciate it way more, 1,000%. But I'm definitely bringing root beer back. Root beer is in the backyard right now, sitting out there. She ain't got no motor, but as soon as I get enough money to get motor on her, you're going to see me and GB back out there running things. Trust me.
Hold on. This is what crazy, yo. Listen, y'all. So he called it root beer. I ain't never even heard of this brand boat that it is because I done seen the boat. What is it? Oh, I forgot. I never heard of it before.
Oh my God! Oh my God! What is the name of the boat?
He don't even know his own boat.
I know it's my root beer. Hey,
how do you not know? You done called it root beer so long, you don't even know what it is.
I know. Hey, all I know is out here in Northern California, Sacramento, a guy made that boat. He made a couple hundred of them boats and whatnot, and then he went out of business. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, well, I want to have a boat in the backyard just so I can fish for stripers and just cruise around because, when you do good on the Delta, it's a lot of fishermen out here and they didn't want to know where you fishing. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like I needed 2 or 3 bass boats and disguises. Like I had fake mustaches. I had long hair, I had long sideburns, just so guys wouldn't know it was me out there. You know what I'm saying? So root beer was just part of the whole thing of, listen, this is just me to practice so nobody will know it's me out there and then fish. And then all of a sudden I take new boat out there, kabaka. Your boy ain't got no sponsors and I ain't got no money to get her fixed. And then I looked at root beer and then
what it sound like?
Saturday.
Yeah, what it sound like?
I had to pull over like, oh shit, this is it now. You know what I'm saying? Then I had to get towed home, and tournament is Saturday. What you want me to do? Root beer, you ready? Root beer was like, put me in the game, coach. I said, let's go. Win after win after win after win after win after win. Root beer had a 150 horsepower. I'm going 30 miles an hour. Hey, I tell you a true story. Ish Monroe, I beat you. Ish, you know I did. He driving by me in brand new boat, $100,000 studded. Woo! He looked at me and did a whole paddle thing like this on me. I said, it's okay. Once I get there to the spot, Root Beer know what to do. Root Beer pulled up to the spot an hour later, which took all the other boats 10 minutes to get there. Get Root Beer the trophy, please.
No root beer.
Yes, yes, man. Go to my YouTube page right now. You go to Rippin' Lips YouTube page. Yonder Tale story where I talk about the rise of root beer. So you can watch the whole movie of root beer. Root beer cost me $5,000 to get into her, and all the money and all the trophies that she won to take over the California Delta. Yeah.
I've seen this boat, folks. It reminds me, it's like a cross between one of the 300 series Rangers, and it's actually like the boat that I used to have. My first boat was a Winner. Most people don't even know what that is. It looked like a cross between those two boats. It looks like very similar to that. The old 300. I said, "Oh, what is?" He said, "I got to think. What is root beer?"
I don't even know. I know. I'm like,
you don't even know what his boat is.
I don't even know root beer.
It's all like scratched up.
Yeah. Like an Aries. The Aries was the boat that was close around here. It reminds me of Aries. But you say it's from California.
Sacramento, and I ain't never watched root beer. That was one of the mojos. Root beer never wanted to be washed. Don't don't wipe me down. Don't do nothing. Leave me just like I am. I said, okay, root beer.
Oh, well, I think that's all. I don't think I see any more questions come through, man. Listen, I appreciate y'all coming in and spending during their 2 hours with us today. That I don't take that lightly because, man, I know everybody's got family, you got kids, you got stuff to do, man, and like I struggle with that, especially in the evenings. It's like, man, this is my 2 hours of quietness. So I appreciate y'all coming and joining in and sharing the stories, the knowledge, and I'm certain you got at least a couple of three new fans today. I feel certain you do.
For sure. And I said I'm still gonna try to make my way out your way in April.
Yeah, I'll work it out. Look, I'll hand over y'all the dates. If it works for you, man, it'd be awesome to have y'all at the retreat in April. If it works, it does. If it don't, man, trust me, there's nobody that understands like I do. But I would love to have y'all out there in April at the retreat. We're gonna do it at Lake Hartwell this time, so it'd be a lot of fun. We have a tournament. We eat. We do seminars. We're gonna fish this year. I'm going to have it where some of the people in the app can go out with a couple trips too, like a couple 2-hour trips. Fishing is really good in April here. You can catch 8-10 fish in a couple hours. So, which is good for us. I don't know how it is for y'all, but that's good for us. So we're going to do a couple trips too, like on the water type deals. So I'm looking forward to this year.
Have we put the dates out in the app yet that we were talking about? We just had that.
No, I haven't yet because I haven't. I'm supposed to talk with the venue tomorrow about hosting us there. So I just need to confirm for sure before I got people taking off work, and then I'm like, well, actually, we're going to do it on April 30th. So I want to make sure I get it confirmed, location confirmed, locked in tomorrow. Cool. But yeah, I have a conference call with them tomorrow at 12, so we'll see. We'll get all that locked in. But I'll stay in touch with y'all, fellas. I appreciate y'all's time today. And like I said, the stories and laughs. My face feel like it's cramped from smiling the whole time.
I'm used to it. My face is already. I've got muscles already worked since I hang out with them.
Yeah. Yours already worked in, probably. Already worked in. All right, y'all. Hey, seriously, appreciate y'all, fellas. I think we have all the information we need to get. If people want to get in touch with you all to get some merch or whatever the case may be, I think they are. All they need is your Instagram to be able to DM you, right?
Yep. That's it. DM me, man. I got you. I'll take care of everything you need.
Right on. I'm gonna get that to everybody. We'll put it in the community section and on the app, and then Michael, I think he'll have it. And when we repost this tomorrow on the app, we'll have it in the description box. Is that how that worked, Michael?
Yeah. Yep. And I know Greg's already gotten set up in the app. He's been actually in the chat with us. So jump over, check out that community tab. That's kind of like it's a little social media inside the app. So feel free to go hit people up, share whatever if I miss something. But yeah, we'll get it in everything.
Perfect.
Hey, appreciate you, Michael, man. You made it happen, baby. Got
Yeah,
me
Michael,
good on here, baby.
Always seamless. Boys, I'm gonna make sure my kids ain't burning down my house. I'll follow up with y'all tomorrow. Appreciate you.
Sure.
Right on.
Thanks,
man. All right, brother. Take it easy.
Later.
See you guys.